A very warm welcome to this handover ceremony on the successful and timely uptake of artificial intelligence in science in the European Union. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is without any doubt one of the most disruptive technologies currently available to our societies. In many aspects, it's what's called a general purpose technology, one that is applied in all sectors at very high speed and oftentimes in a manner that leaves no stone unturned. But it also holds the promise that it could achieve and even in some aspects exceed human capacities. Now, the group of chief scientific advisors to the European Commission has been asked to provide recommendations on how the Commission can accelerate a responsible uptake of AI in science to strengthen Europe's position in science, to boost innovation and prosperity in the European Union, and ultimately contribute to solving Europe's societal challenges. And here today, we're releasing these recommendations. Therefore, we have here with us in the studio Margarete Vestager, European Commission Executive Vice President, Iliana Ivanova, the European Commissioner for Innovation, Research, Culture, Education and Youth, Anna Fabianska, co-chair of the Science Advice for Policy by European Academies Working Group on Artificial Intelligence in Science and professor at Lodz University, and Nicole Grobert, chair of the group of chief scientific advisors and professor at Oxford University. So first, Iliana Ivanova, European Commissioner for Innovation, Research, Culture, Education and Youth, for a few words of introduction. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Burns. Dear Margrethe, dear Professor Grobert, dear Professor Fabianska, and esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, on behalf of the Commission, I would like to extend a very, very warm welcome to everyone present here and to those joining us through our live stream. Today, we mark another milestone on Europe's journey to harness the vast potential of artificial intelligence within a framework that is safe, ethical, and centered across human values. Today, the scientific advice mechanism will unveil its insights on how the EU can facilitate the responsible engagement of science with artificial intelligence. In an era increasingly shadowed by the challenges of misinformation, disinformation, a wavering trust in public institutions, it is our duty to fortify this bridge between science and policy. And scientific advice is at the heart of evidence-based policymaking. This principle is particularly pertinent when dealing with artificial intelligence in research and innovation. AI's game-changing potential is undisputed, yet with great power comes great responsibility, including the need to carefully navigate its political, social, and ethical implications. And as AI gets more complex, more encompassing, we need to prevent any blind spots while being ready to grasp also the opportunities. And this is exactly what your advice should help us do. So thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing your expertise and your recommendations.
Commissioner, thank you so very much. Now, to move on and to really set the scene, I would like to give the word to European Commission Executive Vice President Margarete Vestager. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Olaf. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I think this is an important event. When I started this mandate, one of my objectives was to make sure that AI is actually being used in the best possible way. And as it was said in the introduction and also by my colleague, it is pervasive. It can basically do a lot of different things. The important thing is to know what it's doing. And also to realize that it has very specific use cases. In my own home country, I just read about one of the hospitals. They have used a sort of personalized treatment for people having cancer. So they fed in the algorithm more than 70,000 different treatments because every cancer is different, and now they use that to decision support as to how to treat people with this specific kind of cancer. And they have more than halved the complication after cancer treatment. And everybody who's been close to having cancer or close to people having cancer know that complication can be a fact of life when you're undergoing treatment. So it's a huge relief for the patients that you can have that. And of course, you're also saving a lot of money. So I think it's a very specific example, and it tells me two things. First, that using AI in science is probably one of the best use cases at all. You know, me using AI to figure out, how to make a dinner plan or whatever it may be, maybe not worth the energy used to do it. But for science application, excellent use case. And second, using AI in science, probably also one of the best way actually to reach our goals. We have goals of digitization, of the green transition, of social inclusion. And in other words, this is a way to make Europe do well by doing good. So I have been looking very much forward today because I think without your advice, without your dedication, it's not possible to get a horizontal acceleration of a responsible use of AI in science. So thank you very much for the work you've done, and looking very much forward to hearing you.
Executive Vice President, thank you so much. Turning now to Anna Fabianska, the co-chair of the Science Advice for Policy in European Academy's Working Group on Artificial Intelligence in Science. Professor, you are one of the 6 authors of the evidence review report, right?
Right, that's right. Thank you very much for your kind introduction and the opportunity to be here today. Dear Executive Vice President, dear Commissioner, my colleague, Professor Andrea Migliorizzoli from IZIA-USI SUPSI, and I had the opportunity to chair the SAPIA working group on the artificial intelligence uptake in science. The evidence gathering was quite challenging since the field of AI is evolving very quickly and many of its applications are being discovered or refined. Also, despite the apparent artificial intelligence impact on researchers, the nature and the extent of this impact is vastly understudied. In this endeavor, we were supported by a large group of interdisciplinary experts from across Europe, and we provided a unique review evidence on influence of artificial intelligence on scientific process researchers, and we also explored how policy can support the artificial intelligence in science. The evidence clearly highlights that artificial intelligence is increasingly used across various scientific fields to support the researchers. For example, in quantum physics to uncover new patterns, in biomedicine to discover new drugs, or in material science to develop new materials. We gathered many more examples also in humanities, showing the potential of artificial intelligence to support the research process, particularly in all disciplines relying on a vast amounts of data. However, the evidence also shows that few research institutions provided general guidelines to their researchers on how to use AI in their works, and there is also limited awareness of AI ethics in science. The evidence suggests that artificial intelligence could and should be used to enhance the research process and not replace the researchers. Moreover, the evidence shows that the adequate AI-based tools to support the research assessment of publications and grant proposals, or even to produce the scientific text, does not exist today. Beyond the guidelines, the researchers also need an access to a large-scale computing power infrastructure for AI in science. However, the main developments in AI infrastructure and research are predominantly outside the European Union, driven primarily by the industry rather than academia. The proprietary models provided by industry lack transparency and thus limit the reproducibility of the research. And in general, the situation limits the independence on the European researchers. The evidence also strongly highlights the need of better curating data sets used for training AI models and making them open for public sector research. In terms of the policy design, the need for publicly funded structures to support the uptake of AI in science in the European Union was also strongly supported by the evidence review. The European Commission's support to the researchers is crucial at this stage so that both the research in AI and uptake of AI in research can happen in fair and responsible way. We are very thankful to all the experts who supported this evidence review process, specifically the 4 working group members who led the evidence gathering workshops and supported us in compiling the evidence review. Professor Paul Grove from the University of Amsterdam, Professor Patrycja Martinková from the Czech Academy of Sciences, Professor Arlindo Oliveira from Instituto Superior Técnico, and Professor Karen Young from the Birmingham School. We also thank the literature review team at the Cardiff University, SAPIA, and everyone else who supported this endeavor. Thank you.
Professor, thank you so much. Now, going a little further into detail, Nicole Grobert, you are the chair of the group of chief scientific advisors, and we're eager to hear more about the scientific opinion.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. I'm excited. So, dear Executive Vice President Vestager, dear Commissioner Ivanova, I'm here today on behalf to present and to share with you how the Commission could facilitate a responsible uptake of AI in research. And really, my key message today is that we must seize the moment now as opportunities abound. Fast forward. Imagine I'm a future researcher. I have AI as part of my everyday work. It's a common tool. I have been trained to use AI. I have the skills. I have fair access to best AI tools, computing power, and data. My research is more impactful than it has ever been before. And I have all the information available that I need to deal with legal aspects, IPR, ethical issues. And more importantly, also, my work fosters responsible AI and cares about my well-being. And my work gives me a sense of purpose. And Europe is really the place to be. Question, what do we need to do today to make this happen tomorrow? How, as a researcher, how do I start using AI for my work? Who do I ask? Where do I go? And how do I ensure that my research remains sound, ethical, transparent, and reproducible? That's really key. The group of chief scientific advisors, on the basis of the evidence that Anna just presented in response to your request, suggests that we need to create an environment that really helps researchers of all disciplines, that involves researchers from the sciences, the social sciences, the physical sciences, life sciences, and also the humanities, that they have information on where and how to access AI tools specialized for their research. Scientists also need help with all the legal and ethical issues that relate to AI in research. And really important, we need to link different scientific communities to establish inter- and transdisciplinary collaboration so we can learn from each other. Moreover, the group also highlights that all researchers in Europe should have fair access to state-of-the-art AI systems that includes data, computing, and code. Yet, access alone won't do the trick. It will not suffice because scientists and AI systems require high-quality data. That's really important, as it ensures transparency and reproducibility of the research. This is really crucial to ensure sort of transparent scientific methods and make sure that the science is excellent. But of course, much of the data, as we just heard, sits in the hands of the private sector. And therefore, we need really creative approaches to public and public-private partnerships to make data available for research with AI for the public good. The GCSA, the Group of Chief Scientific Advisors, stresses the need for AI tools that are tailored for the different disciplines to help European scientists to stay at the forefront of research and to be internationally competitive. And to develop these tools, we need really concerted efforts between data owners and existing and future computing power and infrastructures. And we need very close collaboration between the developers of AI, but also the scientists wanting to use AI for the research, and of course the private sector where the data sits. Now, to deliver on all these ambitions, we recommend that the Commission puts in place frameworks that can evolve with the fast moving developments of AI in research. And this really requires bold actions. First of all, you need to set up flexible, dedicated funding mechanisms for AI research, with research. And really important also to establish a publicly funded EU state-of-the-art distributed institute for research with AI, so the CERN for AI. We call it EDIRAS. And also, alongside this, create a European Council, AI in Research Council for all scientific disciplines with AI. And last but not least, you need an EU node that looks or monitors continuously both the potential and the risks of AI developments and policies for the use of AI in research. So here's the opinion. I hope it'll help you achieve your goals.
Professor, thank you so much. We have the opinion. We have a row of strong calls now. Now, Executive Vice President, for a few words of feedback.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Fabianska, Professor Grobert, for this amazing contribution, and to all the people that you represent today, because this is really an effort of many people. So our idea was that if you want advice, then ask the people who are going to use this. So I can think of no better community to give this advice as to how to enable and accelerate the take-up of AI in science. I think the result is here. Your recommendations are concrete, specific, hands-on. So I think they look at all the multiple dimensions of the use of AI. All main things that AI in science needs to serve us best: significant funding, skills, high quality data, computing power, of course, the guardrails to make sure that we remain researchers with the reproducibility, with the transparency, with the ethics that comes with it. I really appreciate that. I will not go through everything, that would take way too long, just focus on three in particular that I think also sort of rubs off on Eurostandardization more in general. First, the establishment of a European Institute for AI in Science. I think it's really important if we want to become a leader in the use of AI in science, that we put money, data and talent together for this purpose. We see examples of how this works outside of Europe. I just came back from the US, where I gave a lecture at the Institute for Advanced Study, the Institute of Einstein and Oppenheimer. They have invited also different researchers on board with then sort of interdisciplinary and top-class infrastructure. Really makes it work. I think in science itself, also in Europe, we have those examples. So I see the logic to what you do here. Also, such a state-of-the-art facility could be an enabler to give access to the necessary compute power, to the necessary data sets, and maybe also help for data sets to be available. I very much agree on the problematic if we rely only on private sector for the access to compute power and to data sets. It is not just for the private sector to enable the use of AI. it must also be a public endeavor, maybe sometimes in partnerships, which I also see in your recommendations. Second, special uses requires special measures. I think the idea to have also AI systems that are specifically for science is a good idea, because there are many more specific use cases. Of course, it's pervasive technology, can be used for a number of different things, but one could imagine sort of scientific large language models that focuses exactly on the niche here. I think that's a very promising perspective. And finally, the human-centric approach. Just like Oppenheimer argued back in the days, you can't separate technology from the society where it's born. And it's also the reason why you cannot separate how AI is being developed as to how it's being used. It was one of the, today it sounds trivial, but it was one of the fundamental strategic choices when we started the strategic work for this digital decade, to make sure that it's people first. Technology should serve people, and of course also here underlying that AI in science should serve scientists for their purposes. So I think very important that you promote research also into the philosophical, legal, ethical dimensions of the use of AI, in order for researchers all over Europe to embrace it and not sort of keep it at a distance because of the risk of breaching some of the scientific fundamentals. So thank you very, very much for this very important work.
Vice President Margrethe Vestager, thank you so much. And we're already nearing the end of this ceremony with a few words of conclusion by Commissioner Iliana Ivanova. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you, dear Margrethe, for sharing your so insightful remarks. And dear professors and experts, I can only echo Executive Vice President's compliments on your exceptional work and achievements, and your rigorous analysis and reports presented to us today certainly will help us bolster our policy on the use of artificial intelligence in science. They provide us with a wealth of solid evidence and also practical advice on how to inform our action, and the timing could not be more opportune. Just last month, we unveiled our new guidelines on the responsible use of generative artificial intelligence in research. And this is a collaborative effort with member states and also key stakeholders in the European research area. Conceived as a living document, these guidelines stand to gain significantly from the insights that you have shared with us today. And as you know, we have been investing massively in artificial intelligence through our program for research and innovation, from basic research to market applications. In just 3 years, Horizon Europe invested over 3 billion euros in artificial intelligence. And this does not include our funding in projects in other fields making use of AI as just as a tool. Our European Innovation Council, for instance, supports almost 200 companies working with AI, with a portfolio of grants and equity close to 1 billion euros. And the AI projects that we are funding have far-ranging impacts. It was already mentioned, from identifying personalized treatments for cancer patients to enhancing our understanding of tectonic movements, protecting our cultural heritage against climate threats. Artificial intelligence will really mean a revolution in research and innovation and will drive our future competitiveness. And we need to ensure its responsible uptake by our researchers and innovators for the benefit of the science, but also of the economy and the society at large. And this means giving the researchers also access to data, infrastructures, as you pointed out, attracting and retaining talent, and developing and using specialized AI tools in a responsible manner. This is why this opinion of the Scientific Advisory Mechanism is so important. It is the fruit of cooperation, bridging borders, disciplinary silos also. I also hope it sets the tone for the future and let us continue working together as one European scientific and policy community, because together we can position Europe at the forefront of the responsible use of AI in science, underpinning not only scientific excellence, but also social progress. So I thank you very much for your commitment and hard work.
Commissioner, thank you very much. So we're really geared up for a responsible revolution in science. Thank you very much, Vice President. Thank you, Professor Fabianska. Thank you, Professor Grobert. And a big thank you for your attention in assisting to this handover ceremony on the successful and timely uptake of artificial intelligence in science in the European Union.